What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today, and welcome to Session Supercross. This is TC's newest creation, uploaded for free on MXB Mods today, and I'm just a chill guy who likes doing some Supercross. You know, Pointy Boy season, as TC says, is just around the corner, so you can't get too much Supercross practice in right now. And I do like TC's tracks; they always very realistic looking. Also, like how he's gone as far as having all these little leaves on the ground. I don't think. I want to say this is like 3D grass, maybe, because they are not flickering at all. So I don't think it's a model. Maybe it's just a mask. He's got a transparent mask in there or texture, but then one or two of them are slightly above the ground. So I don't know. I'm thinking 3D grass dotted around, but it looks very, very cool nonetheless. We've got this kind of autumny kind of fall slash vibe going on, and the track actually has a bit of characteristic to it as well. It's not just completely flat. I mean, I like the way he's got the berms here, where they've got that little extra lip right at the very, very top. That'll help you stay nice and locked in if you get that high. And then also, if we go to corners like this, we do have a tiny bit of ruttage on the go as well. Something to lock your tyres into, have a bit of fun with. And overall, it just looks like a very smooth track, and I'm hoping it will flow nicely. These are going to be the first laps that I'm spinning on it. And if you want to get fancy on it, actually, is there a way of hitting this without... I mean, I guess you can go all the way around the outside and hit this straight. There is a wall ride halfway around this track if you want to be a bit brave and risk ruining your lap time, which I will definitely do once or twice and probably end up crashing because me and wall rides, they never tend to work out too well. But I'm excited to get into this one. Again, Supercross just around the corner, so I'm trying to get in a decent amount of practice, especially after my... I don't know if success is the right word, but decent speed in DDC Supercross recently. So without further ado, let's get into it and spin some laps. I think we're going to start things off today with a third-person lap as well before we go into first-person, just to give people a little bit of everything and to show off the AJP FXR Triumph setup that we're working with right now. I think it's very, very pretty. I always like my fluo colours anyway, and then Triumph being a British brand, it goes very, very nicely. Rocking the number 3, if anyone's unaware, the number 3 is going to be my number for the 2025 indoor season, and then when we go to outdoors, somehow I'm rocking the number 1 and a red plate for the first round, which will probably only last the first round, but we'll see how that goes from there. Already, we've got 2 whoop sections straight off the bat, and I can tell you already, they are difficult. Those are not easy whoops whatsoever. They'll be interesting. I'll get a better read on it when I switch to first person. But so far, it looks like timing is going to be of mass importance around here. The scaling, I know he calls it Pointy Boy season, which is more towards the whoops, but these jump faces are a little bit on the pointier side, which that just means one thing. You've got to be very clean with your transitions. You've got to angle your bike the right amount as well. I do not want to hit that all ride on the first lap, so we're going to play it nice and safe. Oh, a little tyre tap in there. You know I'm a bit of a slut for a tyre tap. Love that. I'm guessing that's the finish line right there. And then over around to the right. I am vibing with this scaling so far. It's definitely more on the one-to-one side of things. It definitely slows you down. So you can do your best Paul Webb impression and jump your way through the whoop-de-doos if you want to. On, off. I wonder if you can get enough speed to quad out of that corner. That'll be a good test. I like learning Supercross tracks and finding out what sort of funky lines they've got going on as well. A big old wall there, which I do not think will be a good idea to try and send, because you'll just be jumping into the middle of the whoops. Around to the left. Can probably triple out of that corner as well, which I'll also try in first person. But so far, it's very nice and flowy. I mean, the jumps, they make sense. You can see I'm getting a lot of downsides. I'm not having to downside as in I'm downsiding the jumps, not that there's downsides to the track. I'm just kind of blipping the throttle, just making sure I'm pitching the front end down. Can we double? Yeah, you can definitely double off of that. I don't think it's meant to be strictly another checkup wall. And then we'll try and slot into this rut. Double to the inside again. Going like rut to rut there will be very satisfying. Oh, I missed the back wheel on the tyre tap. Oh, that's me. That's on me. That's on me. Right. Roll the finish line. We'll get back into first person. Little backflip for the fans. For all the other chill guys. And now, this is where things will start picking up pace and they'll start feeling a lot faster. We're going to go outside in this corner this time to try and blitz these whoops. So yeah, you can blitz them. They're still difficult, don't get me wrong, but much easier to blitz from the outside rather than the inside. Can we jump? We can jump around this corner here. We'll try and slot into one of these ruts. Just check up and over the wall. Very steep wall as well. You need to make sure you're hitting that straight on, otherwise I imagine you'll probably get some wonky physics. Triple out of the corner, nice. Triple again. Smooth little double around to the outside. Then we've got our dragon's back. I don't know if it's worth you trying to step over that tabletop. because you'll end up having to single into the corner by the end of it, just with the alternative rhythm. So I think stepping onto it's the way to go, and then yeet, send this bad boy. Downside that was actually really clean. Did not get enough oomph to get the triple after that, but that's okay. It's not too bad. Now if I slot into this rut and we go inside, then you can tie tap that properly. Round to the right. I'm kind of vibing with this. This is actually much techier than I thought. And the ruts that have been built, they're kind of smaller and precise, but I'm not getting any weird wonky MX bikes pinging out of the rut kind of physics. So I'm guessing they're like just deep enough. And what I'm liking about them, I don't know if, I'm guessing this is true. If I go near it, is this? So it's almost like the outside of the rut is more the height of the rest of the track, but then the inside it digs down rather than just being built upwards like a lot of ruts do. Maybe that's why it's working better and it feels nice and it kind of locks you in. It's kind of made everything on the inside of the rut lower, so you can get the bike cranked over. You're not got to worry about dragging pegs or anything like that at all. I do want to quickly try and do an alternative rhythm through here. I want to try stepping over. I don't think quadding is possible unless you get an insane drive. If I let me just step over. No, someone will quad that. Definitely someone will. It's a nice alternative rhythm there as well. When you don't have to jump into the sand if you do that, which is nice. You can just kind of downside the jump before it and then get all that momentum going through the sand. Not a good run through the whoops. We'll turn it into 2 front flips though. Lovely stuff. Actually was intentional. People aren't going to believe that, but I'm at this point now where as soon as you know you're going to start going over the bars, just start leaning into it, grab the brakes, and then hopefully you'll ride out in a front flip rather than actually crashing or trying to bring it back. You're never going to bring it back when you're going that far out the front of the bike. Yeet, little floaty. Now, I need to send this a little bit further. Just downshifter first, then we get all that acceleration to then be able to triple. Nice. Kind of slot into our rut here. Almost tagged the wall ride by mistake. And then if I go outside, I'm guessing you just triple whole thing to the inside. Nice. Oh, that is very, very satisfying. Very satisfying indeed. I'm vibing with these ruts right now. Let's try and get a good run through these whoops again. It's all about just trying to get your wheels on top of them. It's very easy for the front wheel to miss the second one because they're a little bit on the bigger side. So you've got to be very, very careful with that. We'll double into the corner. I was also wondering if I jump off the side of this rut. No, I don't think you're going to get enough pop to get up and over it completely. So that's okay. I don't think there's a scumbaggy way of getting around that corner. Triple out of here. Triple again. Like a little double. I mean, this is generally got to be one of the smoothest and most satisfying SX tracks I've done in a while. It's definitely more on the realism side of things in terms of just the speed you're going and the scale of the jumps overall. I do kind of vibe with that. No idea how it would race because where it is on the smaller side, it's quite narrow as well. You're not going to fit too many bikes beside each other. Should we just hang on? Let's give it a go. I really can't wall ride for shiz. I generally don't know how to do it properly. There's people that can just do it every single lap. I've been told to let go of your sticks once you're in the air, and I feel like I did that time, but the bike still kind of came out from underneath me, so I might stay away from it. I mean, I'll give it another go next lap, and then if I completely wad myself that time, that's when we'll stop from there. It looks like actually a slower entry into them whoops seems to help. Okay, and I'm actually preferring stepping over that table because up. It's about to say I prefer stepping over that table because then I don't have to single into the sand. It's when your front wheel just collapses on you like that. Doesn't really matter, does it? Do. Round to the left, really triple out, nice and smooth. Triple again. Now, I was, if anybody stopped by in my DDC live stream yesterday, first of all, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. If you didn't, basically, Cupcake Explode was sick, so I had to fill in the commentator spot for 250s. I raced the 450s, but then I just hopped into the 250 server in between my races and commentated that. But it got me kind of wondering because there was some big old quads on last night's track. Ones that I would not expect the 250s to be able to get up and over, but a lot of them were doing it. And with some level of ease as well. It didn't look like they was struggling too hard, at least the top boys. And I'm wondering, because I've not put any 250 time in at all on this game since the new OEMs dropped. Are they just that much better? Is it more about the power delivery than the speed, or are they actually a lot quicker than they used to be as well? Because there was a couple of quads coming out of corners, and so my way of discerning a quad is when you've got a single, a table, and then a single after it. I know some people call that a triple, I call it a quad just because there's like 4 options. You know, you can go step on, which is 1. You can go step over, which is 2. You can go all the way, which is 3. And you're not going to be like singling it at all, are you? So I just class it as it's the distance of a quad, at least. So lots of quads. That's what I'm calling it. On the 450, I really struggled to get over some of them. Even if I got perfect traction out the corner, done my very, very best to like seat bounce, trying to stretch it out as far as I can. Yet some of the 250s are getting it no problem at all. And I don't know if it's just a skill issue on my behalf, but I'm really, really surprised. I'm guessing maybe it's just the way the 250s have a lot more grip now. I was also noticing a lot of 250 riders standing up around the entirety of the corners, which I don't see 450 people doing. And that's odd to me. I don't think I've ever seen it before where there would be that much of a difference in like meta between bikes in the way of getting around turns. I mean, I could try starting to stand up in some of these bowls. I'll do it now actually for a lap and see how it goes. It was just interesting. It's nice watching different people as well. There's so many people in that race that I'd never seen before that actually turned out to be big barkers, and it was nice expanding my horizons a little bit. Very nice triple there. TC, typical Canadian, does thank Logan for the face of the Supercross triple. I'm guessing he's had one that he's worked on quite a lot, and I have to admit it does feel very nice, very floaty when you get up and over that. Jesus, I knew the second I left the ground on that. I did not pop the front wheel up high enough. If you want a little, actually let's slow it down. If you want a little tyre tap lesson, basically off the takeoff of the jump, you crank back as hard as you possibly can. Sometimes you even lean forwards into the face and then lean back once your front wheel hits the face to then pop it up higher. And then once you're in the air, just as your back wheel is about to hit the tyre tap, you lean forwards and accelerate. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You do not lean backwards, you lean forwards. And then hopefully you've done enough. Hopefully you've got your front wheel high enough to then be able to survive. So as you come in here, crank back, lean forwards and accelerate. Gosh, very, very smooth, up and over. I'll slow it down and replay as well, just so you can see. So as we come in, I didn't actually lean forwards coming out of this corner at all. I just leaned straight back, I think. So we come around the corner, nice and smooth. Oh, I did a little bit. And then you lean back, crank back as hard as you can. And then just as your back wheel's about to hit, lean forwards, accelerate. And then from that point, you can just return your rider position back to the middle or backwards if you need to as well. Just very nice and smooth. All tyre taps work the same. It just, some of them have different degrees of how steep they are. So you have to crank back harder on some more than others. And of course, if you're coming out of a very low speed corner and you've got a tyre tap, you're just going to have to crank back even harder to get that front wheel up super, super high. The faster ones tend to be a bit easier than the really, really slow ones. But nonetheless, they are very, very satisfying. And I think they are my favourite obstacle in all of MX bikes. I really, really do enjoy it. There's not many feelings more satisfying than just greasing a tyre tap in this game. Very, very nice. Definitely a feature that you need to learn as well if you're looking to get good at your Supercross. Another feature to learn, especially if you're a DDC player rather than an aerial player at the moment, is the whole just popping a wheelie up and over some of the rollers that we have. So it's a lot of the DDC tracks, you'll have a tiny little roller, not like a 3-foot single, but let's say like even a 1-foot roller, just before you have to then hit a big old quad, and it's just a case of popping the front wheel up and then dropping it back down over the other side of it. A lot of the time you can do it as you're landing a jump. A lot of the time you can do it as you're exiting a corner, just with the way the suspension rebounds. Let's say it's compressed when you're landing a jump, or it's compressed as you're in the corner. As you're exiting the corner, you can pop that front wheel up quite easy from that point, and then you just have to have the technique to be able to carry it all the way up and over. I'll try and show... Where can I do a good example of that? But to be fair, probably back onto the start straight. I'll go do that now as well. Actually, let's go this way. We'll come and hit this tyre tap one more time for the fans. Yeet. I'll slide into the rut as well. So, as I'm exiting this berm, you kind of want to lean forwards and then crank back at the same time, and it gives you a really, really easy wheelie all at the same time. So if we slow this down as well, if I'm leaning forwards as I'm exiting this corner, you can see how compressed my front suspension is. As that suspension is rebounding and releasing, that's when you start leaning back. And that's little reaction of going from leaning forwards to leaning back and the front end decompressing is what gets that front wheel lifted up. So in a lot of the DDC tracks, you'll have a 180, then about here, you'll have a roller, and you can see I'm carrying that front wheel. You'd drop the front wheel down over the roller, and then you'd have like a massive quad after it that you need to hit. And a lot of Supercross is just kind of linking bits of track together and flowing and just trying to carry as much momentum as you can everywhere. It's not like, right, okay, I've done a 180, now I need to hit this double, now I've stepped on, now I need to step off. That's another huge thing with Supercross as well, is on-offs. A lot of people think you have to step on and then you've got to do a massive like seat bounce or preload to get stepped off. You don't. It's all one smooth movement. So it's on, off, all in one go. And again, you're using the suspension where it's rebounding on the landing, but when it's compressing on landing and then rebounding afterwards, that is your preload. You haven't got to do an additional seat bounce. So it's all one. And a lot of time, you're better off landing kind of mid-point or further than mid-point. If you're landing right back here and your back wheel's tagging, that's when it gets difficult, because your suspension would have already rebounded by this point, so you've not got that extra oomph. What you do is you land about halfway or further. A lot of time, if you land front wheel heavy, it's not bad at all, and it compresses. Then it all rebounds at the same time. That gives you a little bit of lift. I just lean forwards a tiny bit to give that front wheel a little bit of pop, to lift that front wheel up a little bit. So as come in, accelerate, lean forwards a tiny bit, and then you just kind of pitch that front wheel back down on landing. So that's all it is. It's just tying things together, learning it. And once you learn all the individual aspects of Supercross, I think learning new Supercross tracks to be so much easier than learning new outdoors tracks. I really, really do. It's exactly the same obstacles, just jumbled up into a different order, to be honest. Whereas outdoors tracks, every corner's different, every right is different, every braking bump is different. So they do take a lot longer, in my opinion at least, to learn. But I know I'm kind of in the minority of that opinion of thinking Supercross is easier than outdoors. So I don't know, it's just what I enjoy the most. I enjoy it more on MX Simulator, I enjoy it more on MX Bikes, I might enjoy it more on Motocross the game as well. We shall see. But that'll do it for me. Hopefully any of them tips have been nice and helpful. I didn't set out to do a tip video today, it's just kind of where we've ended up going to. But I hope, see, even I mess up as well. I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. If you did, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, all of that lovely stuff. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
Lynn's in the zone, never backing down. Riding MX bikes, he's the talk of the town. 2022 champ with a YouTube crown. His game is tight, no signs of slowing down. Late nights, bright lights, he's chasing that fame in the digital arena. Writing his name, she's a 10 out of 10. Supporting his lane, hairline might receive, but his passion's the same.